I can get one in at least today because I told you guys I'd do a long stream and I don't know what my day's gonna look like. This video is less about me playing and more about what might help you. And a lot of the common questions I get about loadouts, how the watch functions, how you should mesh up your gear, things like that. And so I just thought I'd make this video live instead of recorded. I hope it helps. I'd also like to apologize for my streams yesterday. I don't know. I don't know what was wrong with me. I had too many things going on at once and couldn't focus. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start with is the watch. You'll find this in your inventory right here in the bottom right hand corner. Safe area detected. As you can see, it shows my shade level is 80 and my next point will be offensive and my current health boost is 2400. How did I get there? Well, you have offensive, defensive, handling, and the utility. That's like for your drones and such like that, your special division items that you get. And then you have scavenging, and scavenging is just you get points to invest in that attribute. But if you go to offensive, as you can see, I've selected weapon damage first, and it's at 16 of 50. So I don't have any available points, but they're all at 16 of 50 right now. And then my defensive, I've picked total armor just because I worry less about health. If they can't crack your armor, you're not really going to have to worry about health as much. And then over on handling, I went with ammo capacity because these are the ones that are the easiest to buffer with weapon perks and such. And your craftable, pardon me, your craftable gear for weapons and add-ons. And then with utility, like I said, this is your skills, like your drone and that. I went with damage because I really don't have to focus on it otherwise. I mean, I do, but I don't. Now let's get into gear while we're in this screen. If you look over on the left hand side on the bar that says my name with the drop down menu, my armor is 1.1 million and my health is 2.6, and I don't have a skill tier, and that's because I run as a tank normally, and my drone's pretty OP by itself. So, and I most commonly, anybody that watches the channel or is in my clan or has played with me knows that I run a shield a lot. So everything I have is geared toward health, pretty much. I mean, and I'll show you how I know that is. Or armor, rather. If you look at the different, you know, this mask does weapons damage. And you can see in the drop down menu, it shows how much armor it does. And if it adds health and all of that. So this does 100,013 armor. And it adds 10% health. So that's pretty OP. All of my gear looks similar to that. You know, I'm at 112k armor with this one, even though it only adds plus 95,000, just over. Because when you tank like I do, you health and armor matter more than anything. And with your vest, you can mod it like you can with your weapons, and you just have different mods. Right now, mine are geared pretty much around offensive, critical hit and such. You get a bunch of cool attachments for your shield and that. I'm not going to go into that in this video. Now let's go into these, into your Devision I call them perks that you get, if you will. You've got the sticky bomb. You have to unlock these three right here. And then you have the pulse, the Firefly, the hive, the turret, the seeker mine, the drone, and the shield. That all come from the White House pretty much once you get there and start clearing it, or get it cleared. And I mean, really honestly, if you're just starting out, or if you play with anything where you tend to be in firefights a lot and you just don't use cover, like me, then I'd recommend the striker drone or the fixer. I'll go into specializations later. Or the fixer, maybe even the defender. Because the bombardier drone, you actually have to pinpoint the area you want it to land. And that's, when you're under fire, that's hard to do. The seeker mine, I mean, it's an acquired taste. I don't use it that often. But these are the two I do use the most, the explosive and the airburst, because, well, not the explosive and the airburst, I use the airburst sometimes, but the cluster, because it'll track down multiple enemies, and the explosive, because it'll just roll over to them and explode. Never tried it with Mender. I've really never met anybody that plays with a Mender Seeker Mine. there's really no need for it if you have the hive, because the hive is pretty much all defensive. I mean, you can throw this one, that'll make them bleed. This one sends out repair drones. Again, that'll make them bleed. This'll revive you if you die. And that just stimulates nearby allies. Chem launcher, that's pretty self-explanatory. Fires different kinds of chemicals. The turret, I'd either go with assault or sniper. I don't know what it is about the incinerator, but it just seems to not lock on to people and not fire at them. I don't know why. The Firefly is another one that's pretty much defensive. You got the blinder, the burster. I mean, I've tried it with the burster. It can be effective if you hit your target, but usually I can never hit my target with a Firefly. And Demolisher, that targets specific weak points. But most people I know go with a blinder just because it blinds them. And it just flies around, creates a distraction. Now let's get down to the one I use the most. Oh, we'll cover these. Decoy. I found no purpose for it. I can't make it work. Pulse, it'll tell you who's where. Traps, now, I really haven't messed with this outside of it being used against me in the storyline to take New York. They can do damage. The problem with these two right here, is they can also affect you and your teammates if you're not careful. But we'll get into my personal favorite right here, the shield. You've got 3 different types of the shield, and it's got one major downside. This one and this one you can only use a shield with. This one you can use every primary but marksman rifles and light machine guns. So why you'd need a shield with a marksman rifle, I don't know. And I can think of a lot of reasons on this game why you would need it with an LMG. But this is the one I use the most here because it does cover my entire body, and there's not always cover around. And if you get the right pistol, which we'll go into weapons here soon, you can be super good. Obviously, all of my weapons are level 40 or above. Specializations are all based off personal preference. Once you get to New York and get to a certain point, you'll get the grenade launcher automatically. The sniper rifles, not that bad. I just don't use it very often because I normally have a marksman rifle. So I see no need. This is what I use the most. The crossbow, because it does the 3.7 million damage, but more importantly, anybody in the radius of where the person that you attach the bolt to, or the object that you attach the bolt to, doesn't just blow up. They catch on fire, and that gives you extra damage against them. It is a one-shot weapon. It does have a reload time. While it's not that bad, you also do only get one round at a time, and you have to aim to hit your target. Now, weapons, I say go based off your playstyle. Right now, I have the G36 and the Chameleon, but that's because I was tanking for somebody earlier. The Mantis you're not going to get right away. It's an exotic sniper rifle. Most players play with an SMG of some kind. So, something like this, or a shotgun, or a shotgun. But it's all about personal play style. You know, I know guys that play with a light machine gun and an assault rifle. I know people that run marksman loadouts, and that's all they run, because marksman rifles do a lot of damage. And it's all based off how you plan on playing. More stealthy, you know, obviously you're not going to want to be as up close and personal, but you're also not going to want to be loud. And certain weapons you can't attach a suppressor to. Now, there is one advantage. I don't think I have one. Yes, I do. The Stoner LMG is suppressed. And the good part about the Stoner LMG is I've really never seen the damage fall off be too bad from it being suppressed. I mean, it still does a lot of damage very quickly for an LMG. Granted, this one's low level. And I obviously never use it. Unless I need a suppressed LMG. But, again, it does have a purpose. Pistols, you're going to start off with a mediocre pistol, you know. If you can find it, and it's luck of the draw in most cases with these ammo crates, but if you can find it at the beginning, I'd recommend the PS4 Storm, the Beretta, or a simple 1911. If you don't like what you have automatically, these are specialist ones. So you're not going to get them till you unlock the specialties. The rest of them are just drops that I found. And again, specialties unlock in New York. Now let's walk up the stairs to a couple of important places. One is the crafting station, the other one's the reclamation station. So the reclamation station, if I go into my gear, let me just pick a piece here. Let's take my vest for example. The core attribute is the 100,013 armor. And the other attributes that are attached to it, plus the core attribute of the brand health stuff, or not the core attribute, but the brand health stuff being the 10% health, because it's 511 tactical. What I can do here is I can go in, I'll open the menu, I can optimize my stuff, you know, see if there's anything in here to let me optimize. I don't have enough materials because I haven't reclaimed anything, but if I go to the reclamation side of things and I click here, I can select skill tier 1 attributes, right? I can change my health on this with any of the things over on the replacement side of things. So I'm not going to do that with this mask. I'm actually probably going to equip that here in a minute. But this one, plus 5 weapon damage, is my core attribute. Then my attributes are weapon handling and armor regen. So it regenerates my armor that quick, and this one has the ability for me to add health to it, so I don't see why I wouldn't, you know, transfer the health over, leave the armor regen. That's gonna max my health more. Sometimes this job makes me feel like a carnival. I can't do anything with it slot. It can't be recalibrated. And neither can that one, because you can only do one recalibration on certain ones. But now I can go recalibrate it at least, or optimize it at least. So if we go to the mask, it's only got the 15 weapon damage, 5.1 critical hit chance. I can optimize that. I don't have the components to do so, so it won't let me. And then you have your optimization library, or your recalibration library, which shows everything that you have recalibrations for, core attributes, other attributes, and then your talents, which I really haven't messed with much. I mean, they all have a purpose, obviously. Amplifies your weapon's damage. critical hit chance, all of that. That's how that one works. Now this next one's very, very important, especially if you want to craft gear sets based off of like 511 tactical or something like that, for example. What you're going to do is you're going to go in here. As you can see, this has 18 of 63 that I can upgrade, plus 3. So there's 18 different weapons that I can upgrade that are standard. But if I go to R2 and navigate category and go down here, there's 3 of these that I've gotten the ability to craft. The Diamondback, the Mantis, and the Scorpion, or Scorpio. So if I want to select this, and this will tell me what it'll do total damage wise. It's not going to let me craft it because I've already got another exotic gear piece, because the chameleon technically is. These are attached to skill sets, so like I said, certain things require a specific skill set to unlock them, and we just went over those. For example, the and there's more skill sets than that. I'll go out here and we'll go over those real quick. Pet the dog here in a minute. You always pet the dog when you go by him. If you go to the Specializations category, these 3 have to be unlocked: Technician, Gunner, and Firewall. And the LMGs you saw that I can craft are attached to the Gunner specialization. Then you have this one, which I really haven't messed with. This one I probably should research it. But that's how that one's done. And these all have, some of these have, well, these ones do have weapons attached to them that you can craft. These have specific pistols attached to them. And just to show you what it would look like if I went and did the
hey there.
Field, or the Quartermaster, and did these. The Kim launcher, I don't mess with it much, but you can reinforce a canister, a fire starter canister, riot foam, and oxidizer. The other problem with this is the aim's crap, and you have to stop firing in order to fire it. Now, one thing I do recommend for everybody, unless you're just the kind of guy that likes to grind solo, you know, for me, there's certain things that I've found that would have been extremely difficult. I do have an account that I play solo on that's not attached to a clan, but without a clan. As you can see, just based off the level of this character and the fact that I do have a clan to play with and how much I grind, I got my global difficulty currently set at challenging. And it challenges me a little bit, but it'll be a little bit different in DC as to how you get here. But if you go downstairs in New York, you've got your personal quarters. As you can see, I've got the Mantis on my wall there. Other weapons will pop up. You ever want to change your appearance, you do that here at the barber shop. I don't mess with that much. But this is the important one for me because I am my clan leader. This is where I find everything associated with my clan. I can go here if we've won anything from the weekly cachet. No items are found. These are just the top clans at the moment. And these are all the people that are at the top in my clan. And just so you know, if you see this musty, I'm coming for that top spot again. I just had it. But the vendor, you can sell stuff and make better money. You can also buy stuff at a cheaper price. But the most important part about a clan is, if you've got something that's extremely difficult that you're constantly having a problem with, the right clan can make it easier. I have a rule in my clan. It's kind of an unwritten rule, even though it is also written in the rules. I require a microphone because I want to know what questions the guys have that join and gals that join have. But more importantly, if we're doing a run through on something, I want to be able to communicate with them. Seasons you don't get till you beat New York. Looks like season 8 just started. So there's that. I'm a level 1 of this season. Looks like I get a mask on my next reward. And always know that you're gonna see people with semi-badass clothes on and that. They worked hard to get those, you know. The stuff you're gonna start off with isn't bad. Yes, you'll want to get rid of it eventually, but I'd recommend focusing on weapons and armor loadouts before you try and change the appearance of your character too incredibly much, because you will get apparel drops that'll help you with that. And lastly, another very important thing that I get asked about a lot: how does the progression work? As you can see, I'm at 12% in New York. So these are all different things that I have to complete, different activities. Find these shade caches is what they're referred to as. And then I've got my completed ones. You've got your field tech research, your main mission, your side missions, you know, like investigate a missing peacekeeper patrol, and it just gives you different cool things, you know, like that'll give me a purple skin. Weekly invasion, American History Museum, extract interrogation data from True Sons, and that'll give me a boss loot drop. And it looks like there might be a shade cache, an unmarked shade cache. These all give equipment drops. This one gives the best drop. Because of all the people you have to face. The Carbine 7's not a bad weapon, but that XP though. And that one looks pretty good. Those are all, though, at the level I'm at. You don't want to do those on your own on challenging. I'll drop my level if I do them. Expedition, this won't unlock until you complete New York. And it's just a different side. I'll show you on the map here in a minute. Just a different side of things. I did that wrong. I apologize. Daily bounties. I don't have 0 in progress because I really don't have any. Daily projects. These are usually like, you know, eliminate a certain number named Black Tusk, make certain donations, things like that. Dark Zone. If you're a lower level player, don't just mob into the Dark Zone once you unlock it. Just like any PvP environment, there are people that like to camp. And once you become a rogue agent, you're harder to kill than you are as a normal agent. And in order to camp and kill you, they have to go rogue. These are just the different, like, you'll find different artifacts and databases and comms around. Um, different commendation cards. The summit's actually pretty fun. We'll go into the map here real quick. Obviously, I'm in New York, and these are my safe houses. They're just areas on the map that I can go to if I need a fast travel location to get to somewhere quick. That's what a shade cache looks like on the map. So I gotta retake these control points. This is how you get to DC, the summit. It's a 100-floor skyscraper, and you do get loot drops in that. You do have, on occasion, you do have a mission to where you gotta take on a boss floor. That's where you'll do that at. I'll just fast travel DC real quick to show you the other parts of it, because it's gonna make me be there to do so, it looks like. Yeah, it's gonna make me be there to do it. So bear with me while I fast travel to DC. I'll see you on the other side. So Camp White Oak, never really done that one. Coney Island's pretty fun, and the cool part about Coney Island is it's 2 missions in one. So you get loot drops from both of them. Manning National Zoo, this is the one that I said gives a lot of cool loot drops, and then the expedition challenge I mentioned is right here, Kelly College. This I definitely would never recommend doing solo. I've tried it, and no matter what level I did Dawn with what loadout and what attachments and augments and such I had, I could never complete it by myself. Of course, you probably shouldn't go out there until you're like a level 100 plus. The other thing, if you're playing in a group, do note that the highest leveled person in your group is going to be what certain things like damage that the enemy can do and that they can take, and how much harder they are to fight is based off of. This one, I haven't done the Pentagon yet, I will. But these two, the Operation Dark Horse, and then there's one that's Operation Iron Shield when I get unlocked again. These require 8 people. They can be attempted solo. Emphasis on attempted. I looked and I couldn't find anybody that did them solo because I tried to, and I understand why. It's just not a good idea. That's the basics of the questions I've gotten. If you have any more questions and you see this video on YouTube or Facebook, feel free to ask. If you're one of the people that follows me on Twitch, ask there. Also, always ask in the live streams. I hope this video helps. And one last thing I will cover is settlements. So, in DC you have 2. You have the theater and the campus. In New York you have 1, Haven. As you get these shade caches I keep mentioning, that's where you will find, or those are what you need rather to upgrade certain aspects of it when you get to New York. But with the campus especially, a lot of the side missions it'll give you, like the rooftop gardens for example, those are all meant to help upgrade the settlement. And as you upgrade the settlement, you get different staff members, like the lady that is in charge of the crafting station. And so again, I hope this video helps. If you have questions, I'm not that hard to find. Facebook.com ChickenChaser198. This is on YouTube, so if you're seeing it there, post in the comment, share with your friends. Twitch is twitch.tv/ChickenChaser198. And pardon me, I do have a Discord, but I'm not very active on there because there's just nobody on there. And I don't mind running people through things in my clan or not. If you see me on Devision, just please feel free to ask, and I hope you find this video helpful. Have a blessed day, night, evening, whatever time of day it is where you're at in the world when you see this. Peace.